Hello everyone. Hello. Good day. How are we today, everyone? How you doing? Where are you watching? Where are you joining in from today? Where are you? What's the weather like? It's beautiful here. The weather's beautiful here. What better time to be stuck inside the exact centre of your house with no windows or ventilation? Grace. I'm alright, Jill. I'm coming to you live from my phone today because it seems to be better camera quality. Hello if it's Shetland. Hello Shetland. How's it doing up there, Julie? Super sunny in Inverness. Super sunny in Southside Glasgow too. Hello Sarah Fleming. Hello Val. Hello Bex. All the usual suspects are here. Hey Rona. Looking forward to this. Are you mad? Are you mad? It is a good grind. It's windy and dry. When's it never not windy in Shetland? Shetland. How are we all doing, troops? Where are you watching from today? Hello, Natasha. Just getting all my ducks in a row, as twats would say. It's always beautiful in Leeds, Hannah. Double champion Laura Taylor's here. Louis McGree. As long as the baby sleeps. I miss that stage. Mine are just now old and annoying. Hello to the world's greatest jewellery refiner, Valerie Phillips. If y'all don't get your metal refined by VPR, then who the hell even are you? Get your metal refined by VPR. They're the best. Good day from Inverkip, Morag. Coming up, Cornwall. Bet it's roasting down there, Lucy. Bet it's roasty toasty down there. Right. 30, let's get going. Okie dokie. Incapacitated week 5, I think. Did I get it right this week? I think it's right. Yes, I'll pick up my fee later, Val, right? So, a pair of rings. Did you see the daily update? Sorry. Daily, not so daily, nowhere near daily update last night, where I showed you what we're going to do today. And it's a pair of rugged rings. And they're both kind of... Right, there we go. See, honestly, having a baldy head's good for something. So you can see this one is quite structured, linear, straight lines. Okay? Whereas this one is a lot more fluid. See that lovely wiggle and movement it's got as we move it around. This one's a little bit more difficult. So we'll start off with this one. Now, if you saw last night, you could see what this was. See how these lines are quite close together? I ended up, when I carved it, I wasn't that overly enamored or impressed with it. You can see that reflecting in the light there. So I'm going to do these a wee bit bigger, so as in kind of bigger facets on them, we'll call them today. But you do whatever you want, so that we're kind of strict but loose here. Where we want the kind of faceted look, the kind of lines, that kind of choppy look to it. But I'll leave however you want to do it, to your own discretion. And you know, it's to encourage creativity, to do your own style within a kind of tightish brief. Oh, tight briefs. So what we're going to do is we'll start with this. So the tool list, same as usual. We need the saw, and we need various saw blades. If you've only got one, doesn't matter. Just make do with what you've got. And beside a tumble dryer. Hear it? And beside a tumble dryer, right? Dividers, if you've got them, or calipers for marking out. You'll need a ring corer. If you don't have a ring corer, don't worry. You need a ring stick. If you don't have a ring stick, don't worry, just wing it. You'll need a bastard file. I'm using an old ring file here as well. I've got various needle files, and then I've got my wax carving tools. Again, various. Okay. So I am going to use, we're going to use this if you've got this. If you don't, just use whatever wax tube you've got. But we're going to slice off 8mm. And the reason we're using 8mm is because it gives it wide enough to get that bit of detail on it. The more narrow the ring is, the more difficult it is to get any kind of pattern or detail on it. But at the same point, we don't want to go making huge ones. So I think 8mm is a nice, happy medium. Goldilocks rule. So let's begin by getting a nice crisp edge on whoever cut this off beforehand. They did a very good job, I'll have you know. Budgie smugglers, oh, that's from the tight briefs. I was wondering what the hell you're on about there, Hannah. So that's nice and flat. So, and then I'm going to set my dividers or calipers to 8mm. Which, funnily enough, considering I was doing this yesterday, are conveniently set to 8mm. What are the odds? So let's just scribe on here. So we'll scribe on and then we'll chop that off. Is anybody else's hay fever horrendous at the moment? Mine is. I'm just basically going to sniff my way through this video. It'll be lovely. Can I actually use? I'm using that one. Hello there. Just whatever wax you've got, you can get your hands on. Bearing in mind, we're going to create wedding bands that are kind of even thickness all the way around. So just start off with that. If you don't have that, use whatever you want. Alright. Nosebleeds, geez, oh. Ah. Stupid pollen. I never got hay fever until I was about 30. What the hell's that all about? And I'm not even 30 yet. Right. Once you've done that, let's just get the sides tidied up. So a nice slice, 8mm wide, okay? What I want to do with this is I figured out yesterday that getting it to size S is good. Now, if you want to make this for yourself, make it for yourself. So make it to the finger size that you want. I cored it out to size S, and the reason is because that keeps it at a 4mm depth, which is quite good for when we're trying to get that chunkiness out of it. So I'm going to core this to size S. If you're making this for yourself, not a problem. That's a very good point, Jill. The hay fever, the pollen count is bad because we've got less pollution. Interesting. If you don't have a wax corer, file it out or saw out the inside. Remember, if you are using your wax corer, to keep flipping it around, or else you'll get an uneven size. And then keep checking your finger size. Nowhere near. Let's talk amongst ourselves while we all get this done. Oh, isn't the blossom nice in the trees at the moment, lads? It's lovely, isn't it? It's not one-sided 8mm. Have you been sawing squinty wee in? It's okay because it's irregular anyway, so that's what we call deliberate. Remember, if it's fucked, it's a feature. Rules to live by when it comes to jewellery. You know, many times I've made an arse of something, put a line in there, and the designers went, I really like that detail, and I'm pure, aye, detail. Oh, that's really good, that. Yeah, it's hiding a pit mark. But glad you like it. We're making them 8mm. It's just a rough guide. If you can't, if you're like Kate and you can't saw for shit, then it's fine. It is what it is. Right, just, it is what it is. 10mm's a wee bit too wide, but if you want to make it 10mm wide, then, do you know, go for it, man. Do it. Do what you want. Nobody ever listens to me anyway, so you may as well just do what you want, you know what I mean? Nearly there. I'm at size R, which is a pirate's favourite size, isn't it? R. Right, so I've cored it up mainly to look at that lovely swarf. Look at that. It's raining swarf. Hallelujah, it's raining swarf. Amen. Not to be confused by Snarf from Thundercats. Snarf. File. I'm just tidying it up. Every now and then, just every now and then, even though you're there, I sit here at the bench and I forget what I'm doing and I forget you're there. Just every now and then. Okay, so as discussed, you disgust me. 4mm. So if you get it to about size S, if you're using that gauge tube, you should be around size S 4mm. All right. So what we should have is a blank. Thundercats was awesome, and I'm telling you, if you as a child didn't, you know, find yourself bizarre feelings inside when you saw Chitara in battle, or indeed Lionel, I mean, that hair, he was a piece of ass, wasn't he? Anyway, so where are you all at? Have we got this? Can we go to the next stage? It's raining man. Hallelujah, it's raining man. Cape Pickering is making jewellery al fresco. Apparently your computer is melting. Why apparently? Either you know it's melting or it's not. There's no apparently about it. I'm confused. Welcome to me and Kate's relationship, where we are constantly arguing. You've done 2. You should be taking these classes, not me. Thunder, thunder, thundercats. Ho! I'm going to have to dig out a picture. So when I get married 74 years ago, for my best man, Stuart, I made him a kilt pin, which was the Sword of Omens, and I got a big ruby. Fake, though, because he's not worth it. As the Eye of Thundera. Yes, Sarah Fleming, the Cities of Gold was amazing. You suppose you have to be roughly about our age to understand what we're talking about with Ulysses and D'Artagnan and Bucky O'Hare and things like that. Everyone under 40 is going to have no idea what we're talking about. Yep. Oh, Val's in the kitchen making frosting for carrot cake. Carrot cake's my favourite, lads. Just to let you know. I know you can't post me one or anything like that, so we have to wait till this is all over, and I expect a carrot cake from every single one of you for us, alright? Okay, ready. At least the wax isn't melting. I know, right? Are we here? Are we there? Bucky! Captain Bucky O'Hare! You do know Bucky O'Hare? Yeah. What was Bucky O'Hare's ship called? A prize to the first person who remembers what the ship was called. Nearly said the name there. The ship was called, Bucky O'Hare's ship was called Dungeons and Dragons as well, yes. Always identified with Eric because he was moody. Anyone know what Bucky O'Hare's ship was called without Googling your cheats? Also, do you remember pole position? Pole position, only their uncle knows. Pole position. Yes, it was, Bex Lapore. You win. It was a righteous indignation. Greatest name of ship ever. However, the best of all was Ulysses. Ulysses, Ulysses, soaring through all the galaxies in search for Earth, flying into the night. Alex, a rum cake. You better bring a bloody rum cake in with you. You better. I'll hold you to that. Screenshot. Click. Sorted. Lafar. From afar, like Lamar. Although if you were Glaswegian, you'd be Bex Laffer. I like how all these Scottish people called Lamont go Lamont, as if they're French or something like that. Hello, I am Scott Lamont. Lamont, it's a Scottish name. Lamont. Right, next stage. Okay, so we've got our nice ring here. And what we want to create is a series of facets, or as the French would say, facets. Right? This is maybe quite difficult to see. So imagine these lines went there. So we want to make this quite angular. See all these angles kind of flashing away in the light there? That's what we want to do. So no rhyme or reason to this. Just start taking flats across it. Okay? That was a big noise. So just start filing the shit out randomly. And if you come in, oh, Morag Woodside, you are my spirit animal. Too much red wine. Is there such a thing as too much red wine? Nope. Okay, so obviously you just saw what I did there. I'm going to try and get this to reflect off the light. To see the facets that I've just created there. Okay, you see all them, how they're flashing away? Look at that. Oh, that's a beauty. Look at that. And if you try and keep them as crisp as possible. Okay, so we're making this really quite angular and sharp. Like that, okay? So carry on doing that and make them, some of them shallow, some of them sharp. Shallow, sharp, 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 shallow, shallow, short, 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 short. Right? And the thing is with this is, even though it is random, it still has to look good as well. So if you imagine like a flush set scattered ring, and it always looks as if it's random, it's not, because the setter spends a lot of time figuring out what the best random look is, because sometimes it doesn't look aesthetically pleasing. And it's the same with something like this, is you have to get all these kind of nice facets to look with a bit of balance. If it's imbalanced, then it won't look good at all. And the only file I've used so far is the bastard file. Stupid camera. There, so you can see the nice facets there. The wall thickness naturally comes down because you're filing from this, so you're filing that, oh come on the camera. So the wall thickness naturally comes down because you're filing at an angle. So if we're looking at it straight on like that, so the wall thickness is naturally coming down because you're bringing it to each side to a peak. So that's why. Hello to one of my greatest friends of all time, Craig Parker. Hello, Craig. Tell us that you're watching. Grab a bit of wax and a file, carve along. So obviously, so if you can see that against my head, that the wall thickness, so see how the shape of that angles down. So what you end up with is, that is so difficult with a shit camera. The wall thickness comes down naturally. See that? There you go. So you can see the wall thickness coming down. And that just naturally happens because you're making facets angular. So it does that, and it comes to peaks all the way around. Like Dante. What's another peak? A widow's peak. Another kind of peak. The peak of my career, which was a long time in the past. Yeah. Johnny's not doing so well today. He's feeling a bit under the weather, so he's having a snooze. You okay there, Johnny? Fuck off. He just was left alone. You prick. Not that bad. How well done? Does yours look like that? And again, it's up to you to, if you want lots of different facets or lots of big ones. I've got a kind of bit round here where it's just facet, 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 and then it comes to lots of kind of smaller ones, and I like that variety, because if you imagine that this was actually a wedding ring, then it would naturally spin and it would have these different looks to it. So how are we doing? Where are we at? This is the one I did yesterday, so you can see all the different facets, angles on there, and this is the one I've just done. Try and get it to flash in the light, and you can see all the angles. Okay, hello to everyone watching retrospectively. Remember that your vote will not count because this is a repeat. I love in programs like Strictly, they have to say that. They have to remind you that if you're watching on catch up, not to vote. It probably explains a lot. It probably explains Brexit, and it explains why people go and have football matches during a lockdown. It explains a lot. How are we doing out there, lads? Let me know. Tell me, what's happening? What are you doing? Where are you at? Can I move on? You want me to hold on? Why is everyone in bed in a day like this? While we're waiting, I could put a funny filter on. Here we go. Go on the filter. Here we go. Hiya. What else could we do? I seem to have some things there. It's a bit weird. I love you. I love you all. Lights. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? How Scott would look without freckles. I think I like my freckles better. That's a bit odd, isn't it? Magic beard, magic beard, magic, magic beard. Okay. Profiteroles. What? What? This is such a... Well, that's just a hangover. Oh my God, that's not going to be good for anyone's hangover. How'd you do the sausage thing? I've seen Amy do it on TikTok. Well, that's completely disturbing, isn't it? Right. Oh no. Oh no. Take it off. How'd you take it off? Go. I can't get rid of it. There we go. Right. So, that was an amusing interlude. Now I can catch up with your comments. Enjoying watching. We'll do the project later. I gotta get a garden. I placed it behind your bed. That's true. Facets ain't too sharp. That's fine. I'm not too sharp. I'm still alright. Up to speed. Still filing away. Not a problem. Okay. So what we want to do now is take either one of your wax carving tools or a file. Anything that comes to a wee point, right? So I'm going to take a wax carving tool. I'm going to take that one that's got a nice point on it. And what we want to do now is create a series of scores. Now they're not going to look like that because we get the file into them afterwards. So this is when you decide, do you want them kind of tight together like that one, or do you want them a little bit more of a step? So on each facet, scribe, 5 if it's a big one, or if you want looser ones, only a couple. Now I did this one yesterday, and as I said, if you turned up late, I didn't quite like that they were all tight together like that, like Adidas stripes. So I'm going to do them a wee bit looser today, okay? And I understand that this is difficult for me to go, I've scribed on here and then try and show you because the camera's not great. But let's just see what we can do. Hopefully you're understanding. And within each facet, if you put the lines at different angles as well, so they're not all going the one way, so they all kind of clash, it gives a really good impression also. So this is going to be difficult, but do you see? No, that was even worse, lads, wasn't it? Do you see the lines on it? There you go. So you can see how I've marked on the lines there. So it's just kind of simply scribing on, and then you can see the difference. So there's only a couple kind of on each in comparison to loads and loads of lines in this one. Now if you prefer to do it like this one, by all means do that. But just to show the difference, I've only put a couple on here. Alright, see that flashing away in the light? There's only a couple there. And a couple on that side. Okay. Remember to tag me and Kate in your progress on Instagram. Show off. Kate's at Vanilla Ink UK. I'm Scott Vanilla Ink. Let us know. Tag us in your progress. Tag us with your finished pieces. We pure love it. We'll give you a wee shout out. Depending on how good you are, because if it's crap, it might not. I'm joking. How we doing? What's happening? Hello, Don Howard. What's happening out there? Where are we at? What's going on? Excuse me. I got gas. Everyone must be busy today. Yep. Everybody beavering away, working away, just hanging out, carving rings, making jewellery. Right, so what we want to do now is start creating steps. Hello, Cat Mackenzie. I'm fine. How are you? Steps. So the more lines you've got, the more steps you're going to have. All right? Obs. Ohms. So take your file. So I'm going to take, depending on your skill level, if you want to use a needle file for this, by all means use a nice flat needle file with crisp edge. I'm going to go in with the ring file just now. I might come back into it with the needle file after. The needy file like me. And then let's just start going in at an angle and creating steps, notches. Buenos noches. So again, the overall look here will look random, but it's not. You and I know that it's deliberate. We've taken our time to create a very deliberate look to it. And again, if you mix it up between kind of shallow and deep ones, again, it'll give a good bit of variety, some looks to it. If you've got an old toothbrush here, it's good for just getting away the kind of excess wax flash almost. Jumping wax flash, it's gas, gas, gas. Ding. And already, I much prefer the bigger facets. It's a much better look to it. I think anyway. You might hate it. I don't care what you think. I like it. Done that thing where I forgot you're there again. I really like this one. It's turning out smashing. Yeah, I like this, and I much prefer it to the tighter one I did yesterday. This is much more in my style. So I'm hoping that you'll be able to see that, right? You see that, guys? Is the camera picking it up? You see all these nice steps and facets there? Come on, the camera. You see? There we go. Look at that. Looks good, doesn't it? Lovely angles and steps and facets all created there, and you can imagine how good that would be when it's finished. Here's this push kit. Somebody might like it. I like this one. Hopefully you can see that. Can you see that, guys? Let me know. You get an impression of what it looks like. So what I'll do with that is just tidy it up. Just make them look and blend in properly, and I'll try and take a couple of photographs of it and put it out on Instagram later, of the finished piece. What I'm going to do at the side of it is maybe eat into it a little bit, so there's, in particular, there's a bit there, just there, where it's got quite thin at the end. So I might actually take that in a bit and make it quite blocky as well, rather than having flat sides. I might just play about with it. So once this broadcast is over, I'll, as we say in the trade, fanny about it and see. But I really like that. That's a beautiful looking piece of jewellery. Okay. So what time are we at? Yeah, we're nearly halfway through, so I'll give you a couple of minutes just to kind of catch up before we move on to the next one. And we can see the small versus big facets. And it's funny how just kind of little things make such a huge difference. You know, from going maybe 4 facets on each of the surfaces to just 3, and it gives it a completely different look, which I really like. So as you can see, I'm kind of filing up the air, which we always teach is a big no-no. Sometimes it's easier just to hold a piece of wax up and delicately do it. So that's why I quite often become a massive hypocrite and do that. Not a fan of air filing when it comes to metal though. That's a no-no. No-no, incidentally, was the robot in Ulysses. There we go. Scott's Trivia. Scott's Trivia. Scott's Trivia. How are we doing, lads? Will we move on to the next one? Because I've only got 45 minutes left. But I pure love this one. So we can see how I've just... try to get out of the way. See how I've just taken in the edges a bit? Andrea, just to let you know that Wrights and McIntyres are bonded together. They come from the same heritage and the same background. So you and I, somewhere down the line, are cousins. Welcome. Does look nice, doesn't it? Right. Chop up another one. Going to use that for Design of the Week in Connect. It's time for Design of the Week. So, we're going to chop another bit of 8mm. Alright? Same again, 8mm wide. Will this shrink down the size when cast? Depends on your caster. I usually tend to leave them just as is. So if I wanted it to be size S, I would make it size S in the wax. And then if it's down a little bit, it's much easier to get it up to size than it is to get it down, because you don't want to go chopping through that or anything like that. So I would just leave as is. I keep forgetting I'm on camera and just like burping. It's foul. I'm a foul creature. Just horrible. Some kind of jewellery Shrek. Honestly, I wonder if I've ever seen anyone naked in real life. Where's my saw? Nice. $8mm again. Okay. $8mm bit, and then core it to size AS. Hello to fellow jewellery tutor Stephen Barnett. Hello there, sir. Glad to be of service, Hannah. Been cheering people up deliberately and accidentally since 1978. A fine vintage. A big hello to Councillor Jim McLean. Hello. Hi, Cecil. Is it? No, size B, so still a few sizes to go. Alexis, you've got 2 giant wasps terrorising you. Yeah, but are they murder hornets? Are they murder hornets? Just be careful, you know, because what 2020 needed was murder hornets. Which I'd imagine for you lot, having a Glaswegian saying murder hornets is quite thrilling for all you English folk. Size Q. Size Q for cucumber, as somebody at my wife's work once said. Do you know what we call wasps in Glasgow? And I'm not sure if it's nationwide or it's just Glasgow. We call wasps jaspers. No idea. Watch out, there's a jasper. Why is it called a jasper? People from other parts of Scotland, please confirm. Right. Size S for sanitary. Wappies. I've never heard that before. Your husband's called Jasper. You married a wasp. And I remember the 80s hair metal band Wasp. They were terrible. I'm blind in Texas, the cowboys have stolen my eyes. I mean, honest to God. I'm blind in Texas, the cowboys have stolen my eyes. And WASP stood for We Are Sexual Perverts, you know. The 80s, it's different times. Different times. Might call them wasps, you might change the vowel, call them wasps for some bizarre reason. La wasp. Like the phrase, got a face like a bulldog chewing a wasp, turns into got a face like a bulldog chewing a wasp. We have to do things differently in Scotland. I've got a wasp nest and they seem to think my pendant motor sound is something to come investigate. Oh no. Wasps are bad. Go away, nasty Jasper. Go away. Okay, muddy funksters, where are we at? Are we ready to do the next thing? If not, give us a shout and I'll wait. Still plenty of time. Dinna fret. Dinna fash, as they say in other parts of Scotland. Where are we at, guys? Where are we at? What's happening? Talk to me. That was a good bit of television. All right, cousin. Let's have a game of what song is Scott tapping out? Actually, it's just Morse code for help. Gladiators, ready! Contenders, ready! Scott's fun fact, the referee from Gladiators was actually my dad's PE teacher. There you go. That was a really, 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 really interesting fact, wasn't it? Apparently it was horrible. There you go. Okie dokie. You will go on the sound of my first whistle. Right, we've got a ring. Jet was my favourite gladiator. I actually once ate loads and loads of packets of Frosties because you got a free like 5-foot poster of your favourite gladiator from Kellogg's Frosties. And I got, I must have eaten about 742 packets of Kellogg's Frosties so I could get a 5-foot picture of Jet on my wall because I was a raging teenage pervert. You used to do the countdown to your fireworks. Did they go 3, 2, 1 and then all happened? That would have been amazing. Fireworks, ready! Catherine wheel, ready! Bonfire, you will go on my first whistle. Right. I'm going to ask you to imaginarily divvy this up into 4, okay? North, south, east, west. Now, don't worry if it's not deadly accurate, okay? So just mark on north, south, east and west, okay? It doesn't have to be exact, but kind of somewhere in that region is handy. So you should end up with 4 lines scribed on there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Beep, beep. I thought I had you in silent. Hold on a minute, lads. It's on silent now. Pardon me. At one of them, doesn't matter what one, okay? Take a big angular file, and I'm going to show you. Make it look like that. Okay? And then the very next one along, do it from the other side. So you've got one way, and then that one goes the other way, okay? I see that it's just Mary Archer one, the email address, yep. So that way, and then that way, and then obviously the other one does the same, and then the fourth one does that again. One way, then another. I'm going to find you. I'm going to get you one way, then the other. Okay, see that? Opposites. One way, other, one way, other. What you're wanting to create here is a line that snakes its way around. Basically, can you see the center line in here? That's what we're wanting to create. So that's why we've came in from one side and the other. So that basically what you want to do is eventually open them up so that there'll be a center line that snakes its way around. So you kind of end up with that effect once you start opening them up. See how that centre line wiggles nicely? Oh, did you fire them too much? It's alright. Do you see it? Are you following me? See that one there? See this? That one's perfect because you still need enough room to create that effect. Okay? It's alright if you've messed up, just see what you can do. There's a moth, go away. What you should end up with is this. Okay? Big side, little side, big side, little side, and obviously it's the exact same the other way around. Little side, big side, little side, big side. There you go. Okay? So you should end up with one part slopes away down. So as long as it looks something like that. Okay, how we doing? Plenty of time left, plenty of time. Now, personally, I like that ring on its own. I think that's an amazing effect. It's lovely. And for something so bloody simple to do, it's such a lovely effect. Just do what you can, Kate. It's fine. Okay, I'll give you a minute to catch up what I've done. Sorry if it's wonky, I've just changed it to a thinner saw blade rather than a big one. There's a cat meowing at the door, I'm just going to let it in. Hello, Rosie. And now follows the sound of a cat eating. There you go, you hear that? It's lovely, isn't it? Hiya. Ah, it's easy, Rona. Ah, it's easy. So that's them kind of side by side. Ring down 3 bits. Oh no. Disaster. Oh no, man. It's alright if it's wonky, because remember it's fluid, it's fine as long it'll look fine. Don't worry about it. It doesn't need to be super neat. Now what we want to do now is I'm going to take my saw blade and I'm going to create a line, okay, all the way around. Now if we start at one of the shallower edges, in the shallow, and we do it right in the centre of that, but try and keep it at an even edge, as close to the peak part as possible. So if this is the peak, we want to make a line down here, okay, and just follow that all the way around a bit like that, okay. So what I'm going to do with this to help you is I'm only going to do one side, and then I'll keep the other side plain so you can see the difference, and hopefully that will help you kind of understand what's going on. So, oh come on, get in focus. Get in focus. Can you see that line? So just sawing in a line there. Okay, and as I said, it's followed the peak all the way around. So if we look at that one, we can imagine what we're just about to do. Look at the central peak. Okay, look at the central peak, and then look at the ridge beside it. That's what we're about to create. Okay, and what I'll do is I'll do one, leave the other side blank. One, because I think it might look interesting, and two, it's so you can see the difference between one and the other. Okay, I was using an 8 saw blade, as in a big thick one, but you can use whatever you want. Don't use anything that's too big. Now comes the kind of tricky part. So we've got a little ridge all the way around there. And I don't want to just lean in with the edge of my file straight away, because it will slip about everywhere. So what I want to do is create a kind of groove in there, and what I'm going to use is my spear here. You know that one? It's quite pointy, and I'm just going to scrape that away. And if we imagine that's the shape, you imagine that's the kind of shape that we're after. Okay, so this is quite tricky, but it's kind of what obviously the wax carving tools were made for. So it's during this process I'm probably going to forget you're here. Okay, bye. Notice the way I'm doing this, I'm resting my elbow up here. I've got my wrist here, and that's all I've got exposed of the point. And this is resting up here as well, and it's so I've got control. If you're doing it away up here, you're going to slip everywhere. Keep everything down as tight and compact as possible, and it'll give you a better chance of doing it. And this is almost like burnishing. And if you keep rubbing that wax, what it'll do is it'll just create that kind of ledge or the groove. So if you think back to the first one that we did, where we created steps, that's what we're trying to create, except they're curved, so it's a little bit more difficult. You can't just get a file straight in there. So by creating this channel in here with the wax carving tool, that'll then allow me to get the edge of my file into that, and it'll locate in instead of slipping over everywhere, and then taking that nice kind of peak away that we want to keep there. Right, so this might not pick up in camera, but I'll get in the way. Come on. So we can sort of see. Come on. The channel's been started to create. Can you see it? Bloody technology, come on. I know it's slightly out of focus, but you can maybe see what we've started to do. Think of waves. See that? So it's basically just scraped a channel with the point of the spear. Just scrape that away. Okay, and what that'll do is then we'll give a better channel for the edge of my file there, and it doesn't matter if this is rounded on the other side, it'll be fine. The edge to lock in there now instead of slipping about everywhere. It's just an added process to help you out rather than just going straight in with the file. I could probably just go straight in with the file and using my thumb as a guide on the other side, but these measures we put in place are there to help us out while we learn how to wax carve. What have we got? 15 minutes to go. We'll get this done, don't worry. I'll give you a minute to catch up. How are you getting on? Where are you at? Are you coping with this one? This one's a little bit more difficult than the first one, but we have to push you. You not so much, you're alright, but you. Show what it looks like flat on. Like that way. So the initial shape, if you get one ring, north, south, east and west, file north, flip it, no, what? What is it you want me to show you? Don't know what you want me to show you. Think about it: north, south, east and west. North and south filed one way, east and west are filed from the other side. So file north and south from one side, flip it around, file east and west from the other side, and then just blend them in. And what you should get is a central peak that snakes. See that channel we created? Okay. And now that we've created that little channel, I'm going to get the edge of my, what do you call that? File. Aye. I'm going to get the edge of my file in there. So what we created is that ridge there. Yep. So as I said, I've only done one side. This is tricky, isn't it? It's quite difficult. You see that effect? Yeah, it's really tricky, isn't it? I know. Told you this one was more difficult. Absolutely. So this is what it looks like when it's both sides are done. You see that lovely swirling effect that's created. Witchcraft. And again, imagine this cast. Really, really nice. You polish the inside channels and then brush finish the flat surfaces. How do you just brush finish the flat surfaces? So once it's in the metal, and then you take it down the different either silicons or what do you call these, emeries, and then you would just brush finish that. I use a Gary Flex block, and that would just brush finish them. But that's a whole different thing. There we go. So I'll tidy this up and I'll put pictures out of the two I did yesterday and these ones we created today. I love that. How nice is that? It's so elegant, isn't it? When given a choice of straight lines or curves, I'll go for curves all day long. Such a pretty looking thing. So I'll tidy these up so they're photographable. But we're pretty much near enough out of time. How did you get on today, guys? What did you think? Let me know. It's nice, isn't it? I'll get some nice photos of it. Or I'll try my best. I'm not promising anything. Don't have like a photography suite here, you know what I mean? How did you guys do? Did you enjoy it? Was it good? Was pushing you a little bit? Gave up. Was pushing you a wee bit more? Was it? Did you like that? Or you wanting to keep it simple? Told you we were going to step it up a bit. It was a wee bit more difficult this week, wasn't it? It's the taking part that counts, guys. Don't worry about it. It's the taking part. Don't worry if you didn't nail it. That's okay. I've been doing this a long time. I happen to be rather good at wax carving as well, so don't worry about it. Yeah, I mean, do it later on. Just, you're not rubbish, Rona, shut up. Thinner wax, fair dues. Do it again. See what your progress is. Now you know a couple of wee tricks to try and get these finishes, and now that you know how to achieve something like that, then give it a go. Keep going. But that's good. Alexandra Miles, you're a demon wax carver. Don't give me your nonsense. Sarah, not a problem. Glad you enjoyed it. Thanks for all coming along. Yours is too chunky or mine's is too chunky. Okay. One broken, that's fine. You should fix it, you know, like in the video I had. How did you get it down without losing your lines and shape? With great difficulty. You just try and have to keep them as best you can. Yes, I did see that, Bex. Unfortunately, I've got something on tonight, so. Not a problem. I love this. This is just us hanging out, a wee bit of therapy and doing things together. And it's weird because even though I'm just staring at myself on a screen, and I know you're just staring at me on a screen, it's lovely and I enjoy it. And I really look forward to doing this every Wednesday, so it's great. So thank you to each and every one of you who come along and take part in this. So next week we are back to saw piercing, and we're going to saw pierce out a robot. Oh yes, we are. As usual with the saw piercing, we will put out the template for you to either print or trace, and we're going to cut out a robot, okay? And we'll all have our own wee robot-y thing. It's going to be fun, all right? So, pretty much time's up. So, and you don't get a warning with Facebook, I don't think. So I'll tidy these up. I will put them out later on my Instagram. Don't forget to tag me and Kate in your efforts, please, because I love it. I really like it and love giving you guys a shout out as well. I'll see you tomorrow for Connect, where I'm looking forward to all your efforts this week with Connect, in conjunction with Tea Green Events, and we'll see what next week's design brief is, because I can't remember. Alrighty, so everybody stay safe, keep well and be kind. I'll see you next week. Bye.